al-Din, also Mu'izz al-Din Muhammad ibn Sam, popularly known as Muhammad Ghori, ER 1173 to 1206 CE, was the Muslim ruler who laid the foundation for the subsequent Islamic ruling dynasties of India, which saw its pinnacle later in the Mughal Empire, 1526 to 1857 CE. He ruled a vast area comprising parts of modern-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Iran, Bangladesh, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, together with his elder brother Ghiyath al-Din Muhammad, c. 1139 to 1202 CE, which widely came to be known as the Ghurid or Ghurid Empire. Muhammad Ghori was of Persian origin. However, his exact ethnicity is still debated. He is undoubtedly one of the greatest generals of Islamic and Indian history, though he was defeated in many battles, notably by Chauhan, ruler Prithviraj III, r. 1178 to 1192 CE, in the First Battle of Tarain in 1191 CE, by Gujarati Chalukya ruler Mularaja, 2c. 1178 CE, and by the rulers of the Khwarazm Empire. He never gave up his conquest and established a vast empire. However, he could not consolidate his empire before he was assassinated in 1206 CE. His main objective was to annex more provinces, and as a shrewd general, he used his religion whenever it became necessary to inspire his forces. He practiced the Sunni faith of Islam and was the one who truly established Islamic supremacy in the Indian subcontinent. Being a very able administrator, but without an offspring, Muhammad understood that not only did he require able courtiers to his realm, he would also need some of his closest aides to succeed him and take control of his empire once he is gone. It was also a practice amongst the Islamic rulers to nurture their slaves, who would grow on to become some of the closest confidants of the sultans. In the same way, Muhammad Ghori picked some of his most talented slaves and brought them up with special training generally given to princes. Upon his death, his favorite and most trusted slave, Qutb al-Din Aibak, took control of the most cherished regions of the rich Indian plains and became the first emperor of the Delhi Sultanate, 1206 to 1526 CE. Taj al-Din Yildiz became the ruler of Ghazni, Nasiruddin Kabacha, the ruler of a region centered around Multan, and Muhammad Bakhtiar Khalji became the first Islamic ruler of Bengal region. Early life and ascension, Islamic rulers started their invasion of India when a general by the name of Muhammad bin Qasim was sent by the Umayyad Caliph circa 710 to 711 CE for further conquest, and he captured Sindh and Multan, now in Pakistan, from the then Hindu king Raja Dahir. Later on, when the Ghaznavid dynasty rose to power, Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni, r. 999 to 1030 CE, made his several ferocious raids into India in the early 11th century CE, which gave an impetus to the later Ghurids. The Ghurids rose to power during the time of their king, Sultan Ala al-Din Hussein, r. 1149 to 1161 CE, the world burner. The ascension of the Ghurids started from the time when, due to the vacuum left by the decline of the earlier Islamic dynasties such as the Samanids, Seljuk Turks, etc., two empires simultaneously rose, the Khwarazm Empire based in Persia and the Ghurids based in Ghor, changing the political landscape of West and Central Asia. The Ghurids started as the vassals of the Ghaznavids before they shattered and toppled the overlordship of the Ghaznavids due to their decline. The Ghurids rose to power during the time of their king Sultan Ala al-Din Hussein, arc 1149 to 1161 CE, who, in order to avenge his brothers who were killed by a Ghaznavid ruler, ravaged and burned the city of Ghazni, which also earned him a nickname, Jahan Suz, which roughly translates to world burner. Muhammad Ghori was born circa 1149 CE and was the nephew of Sultan Ala al-Din. When Ala al-Din and later his son Saif al-Din died, Muhammad's elder brother Ghiyath al-Din came to the throne with the support of their nobles. He gave his younger brother many areas to rule. Muhammad became the ruler of Ghazni when they captured it in 1173 CE from the Oghuz Turks, who had earlier seized it from the Ghaznavids, gradually establishing a solid base there for their further conquest. Indian campaigns. Muhammad Ghori, after helping his brother in several campaigns, which secured their positions, turned his eye to India. Firstly, they were under continuous pressure from the Khwarezm Empire in the west, and secondly, Mahmud of Ghazni has already set a precedent of raiding the fabled rich lands of India. So after ascending the throne of Ghazni in 1173 CE, Muhammad Ghori took the Gomal Pass and conquered Multan and Ushch in the northwest of the Indian subcontinent. Then in 1178 CE, just like Mahmud has done in Gujarat earlier, he crossed the Thar Desert and attacked the Solankas of Gujarat, probably to imitate the same feat, only to be completely routed by the Gujarati ruler, which made Ghori change his mind and tactics. He soon abandoned the romanticism of a trans-desert invasion and concentrated his mind on Lahore for a secure base in the Punjab region to further launch his campaigns to India. By 1190 CE, he evicted the Ghaznavids from the Punjab area and conquered Sialkot, Lahore, and then also Peshawar. He then pressed for Delhi and the rich, fertile lands of the Ganga-Yamuna Doab. Two battles of Tarain. During the same time in India, the Rajput clan of the Chahamanas, also known as the Chauhans, was in the ascendancy under their charismatic ruler, Prithviraj III. The Chahamanas had already conquered the Delhi region by this time from the Tomars. The erstwhile ruler and Prithviraj himself has made a lot of enemies by his continuous conflicts with the other Hindu rulers of the neighboring regions. In 1291 CE, Muhammad Ghori took the initiative by storming a fort at Tabarhinda, Patinda now in southern Punjab. Prithviraj's army rushed there to confront him, and at a place called Tarain, near Thaneswar in Haryana, around 150 kilometers from Delhi, Muhammad Ghori's forces were routed and they fled. A few sources, like John Key's India, a History, also say that the battle was decided by personal combat between Muhammad Ghori and the commander of Prithviraj's army, Govind Raja, where Ghori was severely wounded and could escape only due to the bravery of a Khalji warrior. The Chahamana forces did not pursue them in order to finish them off forever. Instead, the Ghurid forces were able to escape properly to fight another day. The Second Battle of Tarain was a turning point in Indian history and consolidated the Islamic rule in the subcontinent. Muhammad went back to his dominion to recuperate and regroup. He subsequently recruited troops there from various ethnic communities, Turkic, Afghan, Persian, etc., and prepared for the next onslaught. When he invaded again in 1192 CE, it is said that he had a force of around 120,000 soldiers. This battle was a turning point in Indian history and consolidated the Islamic rule in the subcontinent. Though Prithviraj, with his 300,000 soldiers, had a numerical advantage over Ghori, the Rajput force had a lot of organizational problems. The Rajput army came from several different areas and communities, lacking unity. They were a collection of several clans, each unit under an individual clan leader with his own customs, unlike the strict central command of the Ghurid forces, who were much better organized and used superior tactics. The Ghurid forces would encircle an enemy from the flanks after letting them penetrate deep into their formations, thereby cutting off their retreat. Also, in the Second Battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori made a surprise attack on the Rajputs when they were unprepared and took them by storm. By the time the Rajputs could gather their arms and organize themselves, Prithviraj's forces were routed. Many lost their lives, and Prithviraj himself was later captured and said to have been executed. Ghori forces in later campaigns. One of the greatest features of the Ghori forces was their central command under an able leader. Since the warriors of Central and West Asia have descended from the nomadic tribes of the steppe, where their survival depended on how fast they could ride to hunt down their prey, they were always ready for battle and could move large forces with short notice. Their Central Asian horses were also superior, which gave their cavalry the speed and flexibility to launch sudden attacks, crush the enemy, and withdraw in a flash, a tactic much effective in battles. Their equipment was light compared to the Rajput army, and the chain of command was organized more efficiently. Their ready army could move quickly and invade without giving the enemy time to prepare. The Second Battle of Tarain established the Ghurid rule in India, with the chief Rajput ruler, Prithviraj, being beaten and Delhi captured for further incursions into the Indian subcontinent. Soon, the Turkic Ghurid forces captured much of northern India, with important places like Meerut, Ajmer, etc. Muhammad Ghori then went back to his Afghan stronghold to help his brother consolidate the west. He left his slave general Aibak in control of Delhi, and another of his generals, Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khalji, continued east where he captured Bengal and its adjoining regions. In 1294 CE, Ghurid forces under the command of Aibak also defeated Chauhan of Kannauj, the last independent king of the famous Gahadavala dynasty, which ruled parts of present-day Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. In the meantime, Muhammad Ghori was busy with several campaigns against the Khwarezm Empire. His elder brother died in 1202 CE, leaving him to return to Ghor immediately, where he was crowned sultan by the nobles. After his ascension to the throne, he continued facing several assaults from the Khwarezm Empire rulers. Shahabuddin Ghori was more than just a conqueror. He was a visionary strategist who laid the foundation for centuries of Muslim rule in the Indian subcontinent. The Delhi Sultanate, the Mughal Empire, and even modern India's historical trajectory can be traced back to his campaigns. His governance style, employing loyal generals rather than family members, paved the way for military meritocracy, an approach that defined South Asian politics for centuries. Today, his tomb in Ghazni, Afghanistan, stands as a silent testament to his life. Feared in battle, revered in history. Though he fell to the assassin's blade, his vision shaped the future of an entire subcontinent. His name echoes through time, a symbol of conquest, power, and destiny. Empires rise and fall, but the mark of a true ruler is not in how he dies, but in what he leaves behind. Shahabuddin Ghori was more than just a king. He was a harbinger of change. From the sands of Arabia to the castles of Europe, legendary Muslim generals have left an indelible mark on history. Their unmatched strategies, fearless leadership, and battlefield brilliance shaped the world as we know it. Join us as we dive into the epic stories of Khalid ibn al-Walid, Salahuddin Ayyubi, Mehmed Senu, and other warriors who defied the odds and forged empires. Like, subscribe, and comment below.